gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Looking, throwing in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the man. It gets through Butler. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
There we go. My name is Shane Moore. You can find me on Twitter at Einhorn
And I'm the Bri Man. You can find me on Twitter at _Bri_Man.
The Bri Man sound coming in hot. He had his volume way up. Holy cow. All right, so you can find the show on Twitter at Shane and Bri Man, Facebook.com, where we are live right now, Facebook.com/Shane and the Bri Man. You can email us at shaneandthebryman@gmail.com if you have any questions, rants, or anything like that you want to have us talk about, or anything like that. You can also find our show at www.sportsandsorts.libsyn, that's LIBSYN.com. And other than that, you can find us at all those places. You can hit us up. We will try and interact with you. We will talk about sports or sorts. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Things that we're going to have on the docket are Comic-Con trailers that happened. There was a lot of TV and movie trailers that kind of popped up, some that were kind of shocking, some that were not. We're going to talk about those. We have a little NBA, a little MLB, and of course, the Open happened yesterday, and we will be talking about that as well. So today, let's start right off. Let's get right into it, and we're going to go right into the Open, the PGA Tour. So here we go with that.
Get in the hole!
Baba Booey! So today, I wanted to start this off with a particular golfer, Pepperell, who ended up being a little hungover. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I hit the ball better on the range, which gave me some confidence because I didn't feel like I've been swinging it very good this week. And then playing with Phil, those two things gave me something to go out there with, honestly. And I was a little hungover, I won't lie. I had too much to drink last night, and I was so frustrated with yesterday that today was really, I'm not going to say a write-off, but I didn't feel like I was in the golf tournament, and whether I shot 69 or 73 today, I wouldn't have, it wouldn't have been heartbreaking. But as it happens, I've shot 67, so, it's a funny game.
It's a funny game.
It sure is.
Sure is.
So he ended up shooting forward and ended up being in the mix to the point of where he was in second at one point in time because, all the leaders that were at 9, like Spieth and Schauffele and all them, they ended up scuffling very much so at the beginning.
He was the leader in the clubhouse for a while.
Yeah, it's
like for a long while. Probably taking some, ibuprofen and coffee and water and trying to work off that hangover, but
no, he was hair of the dog.
Or he was
hair
just
of the dog
right back on the Guinness or something.
And it's something that did not work for Tin Cup in the movies. It did not work for Tin Cup. He did not play well hungover. This guy, on the other hand, played like a champion. Maybe you might see him a little bit more John Daly-esque over the next few years.
What's funny is it doesn't seem to work out in movies, but in real life it does work out. Mm-hmm. Case in point, Mickey Mantle, who was probably hungover a very good portion of his career. I don't want to put a percentage on it because that would be really, but we know the guy was really hungover a lot. Yeah. David Wells was hungover the day he pitched a perfect game. Mm-hmm. And now you've got this guy, what was his first name? Eddie Pepperell, right?
Yeah.
Eddie Pepperell, admittedly hungover, shooting a really, really good fourth round at the British Open. So there is some look, kids, this is not the lesson to go by here, okay?
Maybe. As long as you're over 21.
It's probably not the direction you want to go. That being said, it might not hurt your chances.
Yeah, I mean, you have.
There is some evidence to show that you can perform at a very high level.
I think Babe Ruth did okay.
Maybe it calms the nerves a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I think that's absolutely 100% the case. Like, I think it calms the nerves, especially if you're hungover. The thing that you're not thinking about is pressing during golf. You're just kind of like, oh man, I feel like garbage.
You're probably thinking, how do I not look drunk on national television? And so, yeah, you're probably not even thinking about the shot. Like the game is secondary, and you're just trying to get through this without appearing to be drunk in front of the world.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's a funny story. The actual real deal story, though, was Tiger lurking throughout the day, ended up not doing that Tiger charge that we were all accustomed to back in the day, like, 15 years ago when he was winning majors. He was back. He was lurking. You had posted a couple of times on Facebook, on the Facebook page, and also you posted it on your personal page.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able. I was at my sister's baby shower. She had a Jack and Jill baby shower, so I was there during. Basically, I had to leave right when Spieth, my boy. I'm wearing Under Armour for him today. I was. So Spieth had the opportunity to really. This was his to lose. He ended up losing it. Also got hurt with the gooseberry bush or whatever the heck that thing is. That
there were a lot of guys who had opportunities yesterday.
Yeah.
But what's disappointing about Tiger is that he didn't just have an opportunity. It was there. It was his to take because at the turn, at the 10th hole, he was in sole possession of the lead. I mean, granted, it was only by one stroke, but he was in sole possession of the lead at 7 under, and then there were a host of guys, but the field was a complete and total cluster yesterday, as you and I were talking about. Yeah. But he had it. He was there for the taking, and I don't remember which hole it was. He either double bogeyed 12 or 13, and that was it. He came undone after that because he double bogeyed and then another bogey, and then next thing you know, he's at 4 under and he's 2 shots back, and he couldn't make it up. There were just too many names to leapfrog. And, that's where the British Open eats you alive and quickly because the conditions are just, first of all, Carnoustie, which is a really wide open course, very, very open course. Yeah. But because of that, the elements, I think, come into play even more, especially with the wind. The wind was kicking up around, I think at some point Gus got up into like the high 20s. Yeah. And there were, I even saw, because I pretty much watched this whole tournament, and there were a number of spots where guys were on the course, and they basically they're over the ball, and then they're like, "Oh, I got to stop. I got to pull up here because the wind is just blowing so hard." And they would back away from the ball, and then they would go back, and but it was there for Tiger. It was there for Spieth. It was there for Schauffele. But the one guy, the one constant, and I know it bugged you yesterday because I know how much you despise parity in golf. But the one guy who was just an absolute constant yesterday, and I mean just par after par. He hit par after par after par, and he had a couple of birdies. Turn this off now. It's annoying. Live. When we go live, I can't control you. Anyways, my boy, my fellow paisan, Fancesco Molinari, he just hit par after par after par yesterday. He mixed in a couple of birdies, and that was enough to do it. He was 2 under for the day, and that was enough to carry the day and win the title. Nobody was able to be as consistent as he was. And you know what? In a British Open, they often tell you that consistency is, especially in those latter rounds, that'll put you in contention.
Well, he didn't have a bogey all weekend.
I know. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, and what an unbelievable final 2 rounds for that guy. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. He didn't hit any spectacular shots. He was just true. I mean, every shot was really solid. He never put himself in a bad position. I don't actually even remember him hitting like a really ugly ball yesterday. Yeah. Because a lot of these guys, Tiger included, Schauffele, Spieth, they were hitting some hideous shots. I mean, just shots that were going out of bounds, shots that were going into bushes, shots that were in the high rough. What's his name there? Schalfly. I feel like I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but he had like 3 or 4 bunker shots where it was the worst possible lie I've ever seen in a bunker, where he had like 1 foot in the bunker and then like 1 foot out. And just like in the most awkward positions trying to get the ball out of the bunkers. To his credit, he actually did a really good job of doing it. But he kind of fell apart too. He was actually playing very solidly on the first 9, and then the back 9 ate him up. Yeah. That is a brutal course. They were actually referring to it as Carnasty because that's how bad it is. You know, Carnoustie became Carnasty on the back 9 there because the wind really started kicking in and the elements, came into the picture. But listen, tip your cap to Francesco Molinari, though. I mean, it was not a spectacular display, but he did what you had to do to win that particular tournament. Go ahead. I'm going to have my coffee now.
This, as always, this is something that just drives me crazy, is the parity in golf. Like you had some of the big names, Tiger, Spieth, Rory, the guys that you really want there, because like you want Rory there because I believe he's kind of he's getting to the point of being a villain, just the way that he interacts with people on social media. His personality in general is very just kind of standoffish. Like he's just kind of he's just an arrogant jerk, really.
He made a big charge yesterday because he hit that eagle shot, and I think at that point it had either tied him for the lead. It was like a 28-way tie between him and a bunch of other guys.
But the parity in golf is really, I feel like it's killing the sport. I mean, it's really killing the sport. There's nobody to 100% get behind. There's nobody to 100% like root against. They need those guys. They need Patrick Reed to come up and take over that villain role, or Rory to take over that villain role. And they need Spieth and Fowler and, even Tiger, because Tiger's at a point now where he's no longer the villain because he has that checkered past, but everybody's trying to root for him to come back.
I could not believe how much I was rooting for him yesterday, and you and I think, both hate him pretty equally. But it never had anything to do with his personal life. I just never liked the way he handled himself on the golf course when he was a younger guy. Yeah. Bitching about photographers, whining about people talking in the gallery.
Yesterday too. But that was different. Somebody yelled right in the middle of his backswing. They were trying to mess him up.
Right, but you can't do. I mean, you can't do that.
It's like straight out of Happy Gilmore. Jackass.
But you are seeing a different side of him though. Like after the tournament, he had a nice little moment with his kids, and he I think he said something to the effect of, I tried really hard today, and I hope you're proud of me, kind of thing. Which maybe that's a different side of Tiger. As he's getting older, he's doing what his
kids were like, "Suck it up, Dad.
Yeah, probably.
Stop it."
Right. Throw a club at a photographer or something.
You know the craziest thing? Did you ever think 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before all that shadiness went down, that you would ever see where Tiger Woods could be a comeback player of the year?
No, I never. I always kind of looked at Tiger and said, this will probably be the kind of guy who, when his skills start to fail him, when he does start to erode, will be able to acknowledge it quickly, and he won't be a hanger-on, and he'll try and he'll walk away. Like maybe try and walk away on top. But I think because of the way things did happen for him, he didn't want to go out the way he did. Yeah. And if I were Tiger, I mean, look, as a golfer, you can play well into your 40s. I mean, my God, Bernard Longer's out there at 60, and he's still
relevant. Yeah.
He's still like shooting under par at a British Open. But I almost wonder if Tiger, because for Tiger, let's be honest, if he wins another major, that's going to be as good as it gets. If you're Tiger, do you ever think, man, if I win a major, that might be a good way to go out? Really go out with a flourish? I mean, probably not, because he would probably think, one, he's too competitive, and two, if he does win another one, he'll think he can probably win a few more to get to Jack.
Yeah. But he's not getting Jacks.
He's not getting that. I think that ship has sailed.
But I think Spieth has a better chance of catching Tiger than Tiger has a chance of catching Jack.
What's Spieth up to now?
4. He's 24 or 25 years old.
Yeah. For me, you wonder if Spieth is going to start to have
I bet you
a certain reputation, but I don't know.
You can't give him a reputation. He's already got 4 for a choker. I mean, he had a hand injury yesterday.
He does have some big collapses late in majors on his resume, though.
He does.
Epic. I mean, like epically big. Yeah. I'm not going to throw yesterday's in there because a lot of guys choked yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a bunch of guys the elements got to them.
He's gonna. I bet you him playing forward. He had a bunch of comments after that saying how he feels like everything is coming together now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the PGA. This year, I would not be surprised if he wins by several strokes.
I don't think I'd ever be surprised if Jordan Spieth wins a major. He's that good.
Yeah, I think he's by far the best. He has some inconsistency problems, but he's so young. That's only going to get better as he gets a little older. All right, let's change topics. Head on over to little baseball here. We had posted a thing on Facebook about Josh Hader. He had some comments back when he was, I think, 17 years old or something like that. About, white power or something like that. And also he had said something along the lines of, I don't know if it was gay bashing or something along those lines, but it was
there were tweets about
it wasn't good.
Supremacy, the KKK. There was, I believe, some homophobia in there.
Some pretty bad stuff.
It seemed like a good guy.
I don't know how old he is now. But he's into his 20s.
I think he's 23.
Yeah, so
I think he's 24.
It's several years that has gone by. Do you think that something like that, if he has not shown any signs of that after, turning 18, do you think it's something that should be really held against him? Or do you? I personally think that this is something that it's in the past. Kids say stupid stuff. They say stupid stuff. They don't even know what they believe in yet. And I feel like that you learn as you get a little older. And as long as I think he should be held under a microscope. But I think that he should be given the benefit of the doubt for now. I think that everything that the MLB has done, and I think that him getting, scolded by everybody is totally 100%.
Here's the problem, though. I granted that you and I probably both said a lot of stupid stuff when we were that age. Yeah. But did you ever have thoughts like that, though?
But sometimes like your parents are your influence.
It's not relative.
You don't realize it until later.
It's not relative. See, that's the problem. Like, yes, I'm sure we said dumb stuff when we were kids, but it's not relative to what he did and the thoughts that went on in his head. And listen, I think his punishment is probably enough of what he's taken over the past week or so since this broke during the All-Star game, like literally during his appearance while he was on the mound.
Yeah.
This happened because, somebody dug it up and they pushed it out right then.
Yeah, I'm sure that's when they dug it up too. I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure they were sitting right on it and waiting for that moment when he took the mound and then boom. The same thing happened with the Dolphins to Laramie Tunsil. Remember when his draft stock dropped and because the picture, his uncle or whoever it was, or his cousin or whoever posted the picture of him, with the mask and the and the drugs and everything like that. But this is I think unfortunately, maybe he was young, maybe he was dumb, but this is going to haunt him, because somebody will always bring it up. But look, if you're him, I think he probably did as best he could in terms of owning it and in terms of saying, yes, I said those things, they were dumb. But that's not who I am anymore. I mean, that's the best you can do, right? I mean, that's pretty much the best you can do. At some point it will, like everything else, it'll blow over because we're the stream of media that we get from so many different outlets is just a bombardment, and things blow over pretty quickly. But he did say it, and I'm sure at the time he meant it. And look, those are, I hate to say it, but those are probably core values for him. Whether he wants to. Not.
I hope it's not. I hope it's just something that he said. He said that he doesn't necessarily believe in, but unfortunately, when you post stuff on the internet, it doesn't go away.
I'm trying to think, like when I was that age, some of the stupid things I said, but they were never even close. Like, honestly, I think one of the stupidest things I said was when I was young, and this was probably just more being like an idealistic kind of person. And now as you get older, you become a little more jaded. But I remember thinking to myself, this is such a cruel and horrible world. I'm never going to have kids. Why would I ever want to bring kids into this world? And I think I held on to that for like a couple of years, and then I realized, wait, what am I talking about? Of course I'm going to have Of course I want kids. That's the only thing, Yeah. I can't even imagine wanting anything more in life at this point. But like that's what I'm saying. Like those are the kind of stupid things that I think I said out loud. And I mean, obviously there was no Twitter then, but that's probably something I would have actually put on Twitter. Yeah. I probably, I would be like, this is a horrible, cruel, terrible place. Why would anybody want to bring kids in? I remember saying that to my parents, and I remember my parents laughing at me, thinking, "You're going to think differently in X amount of years." Uh-huh. But that's not comparable to what he did. That's what I mean when I say it's not relative. Yeah. So
I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like you had different core values then, and as you got older, you matured.
I guess it's relative in that sense, but there's like a big gap.
There's a big gap between the racism.
Mine was just being like stupid, and his was being like
stupid
really
and racist.
Racist and homophobic. It's
He was it's horrible. I just hope that it's it's something that a dumb kid said, because when you're a teenager,
you hope he's really not like that.
Yeah.
But
when you're a teenager, you say really stupid stuff. Like you have no idea what's really coming out of your mouth. Like you have zero idea what your beliefs really are. You think you know, but you really don't know.
I think it's one of those, and especially look for him, he's got to kind of answer to his teammates in a way, especially, and I think actually Lorenzo Cain was really good about it. One of his teammates and an all-star, fellow all-star. I think Lorenzo Cain was really good about it. And Lorenzo Cain did a really good job of trying to put out there that, like, look, we've already discussed it. It's been handled within the clubhouse. It's basically water under the bridge. That was a really good gesture, really nice gesture by Lorenzo Cain, I thought. Yeah. To try and help him get out of what I'm sure knew was a really ugly situation. So,
yeah. All right, let's. If you guys have anything to say about Hader, you can post it in the comments. It'll pop up on our screen. If anything good.
What an unfortunate last name, too, huh?
No, that is another really bad situation. That your last name's Hader.
Made for some good headlines, but
absolutely.
Other than that,
yeah. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next topic, and that is, of course, the wonderful music that is. The NBA, we didn't really get the chance to talk about this. The Bri Man was at the All-Star game last week. He watched the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game. Both were pretty darn epic. The Bri Man. So how many times have you been now in a row?
Oh, All-Star games?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been to any in a row, but I've been to 3 of them.
You've been to 3 of them?
Been to 3 All-Star games. What I want to tell you about this Home Run Derby before we jump into the NBA very quickly. On paper, it was literally the worst Home Run Derby roster I've ever seen. And it turned out to be one of the best home run derbies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was
extremely memorable. If you didn't know any better, you would say it was scripted, because I remember going into. I actually told this to my brother. I said, "It's the worst lineup I've ever seen in terms of a home run derby. Here's the best case scenario. It comes down to Schwarber and Harper wins dramatically, and that is exactly what happened." Exactly what happened. But there were really, really great individual performances in there. Reese Hoskins, who I kept calling Dr. Reese Hoskins because I feel like his name sounds like a doctor's. And Schwarber was great. Obviously, Harper was great when he needed to be, because he wasn't particularly great his first 2 rounds. The guys he was up against weren't that good. Max Muncy had some great moments. Alex Bregman him and Schwarber had a really great face-off in an early round. So really fun, a lot of fun. But let's talk Kawhi Leonard.
Yes, yeah. All-Star, yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. I had just for my 2 cents.
It was a great event. It was the whole weekend. The whole week was.
I had gone into the Home Run Derby. I was like, there's no way I'm watching this. And then I just started watching it. And I was like, this is good. This is getting really good. And you had the Bregman one that was really fun. It came down to the last swing, and he almost hit it out, hit the wall. There was a lot of drama that followed. they have really gotten the All-Star game and that whole couple days they really have done it right. They are just hitting on all cylinders with that, and they are by far the best All-Star event with the Home Run Derby contest. That is so much better than the Slam Dunk contest now, and the All-Star game is by far and always has been the best of the major sports. All right, so let's move on to the Kawhi Leonard trade for DeRozan. I had posted on Facebook. We have a couple other posts on here too. I had just posted that I thought it was funny that R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich said, "Oh, you want to go to L.A.? We're going to send you as far away from possible from there and send you all the way to Canada.
We're going to send you out of this country."
Yes. I thought that was hilarious. Like that to me is the funniest part of it all. And
I think it's great. I have no problem with it whatsoever, and I enjoyed it.
Zach Harvey, he had posted on here, not sure why Toronto would do this. They won't be able to sign him long term. Now, I am not 100% sure. What's his uncle's name? It's Kawhi's uncle.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like Uncle Donald or something like that. I don't know. He's a weird dude that's kind of stringing Kawhi along. He's
not a fan of his or the rest of his entourage.
But another person.
So should we call him Uncle Geppetto? Is that what we should call him?
Yes, exactly.
Uncle Geppetto. Sure.
So Zach Harvey, he doesn't understand.
There are no strings on me.
That he doesn't think they're going to be able to sign him long term. Now, I wouldn't say he's not going to be able to sign him. They're not going to be able to sign him long term. It really depends on the fit and how well they do. If they do really well,
he's going to LA. He's going to the Lakers.
It's a 95% likelihood that he's going to go to the Lakers.
95.
Wow. Yeah, and there's also a chance that he could end up on the Clippers. But I think that I think that there is a chance. There is a small chance that Toronto could sign him, but it's very unlikely, and I don't know why they parted with all this talent. It just doesn't make sense. Ronnie Pirro said, "This is good for the Spurs. Kawhi is a 1-year rental. Danny Green has 1 year left on his contract, and I would not be surprised to see him back in San Antonio next year." DeRozan,
I wouldn't either, but that hurts. I love Danny Green.
Yeah, DeRozan is obviously not as good as Kawhi, but he's a very good player, and and to even get anything of value for Kawhi at this point is great. So to get DeRozan, what is that? How do you pronounce that? Potley and a first-round pick. Yeah. Definitely a win, in my opinion, as a Spurs fan. So we have another Spurs fan there. And
I agree with that assessment, by the way, because the chances of you getting anything – look, that was about as lame duck a situation as you could get. The chances of actually getting anything of real value for him were really slim. You got DeMar DeRozan, who was a very, very good player in this league. And I think, look, is he the dynamic player? Is he the two-way player? No, not even close. But he is – there's talent and there's value there.
Well, I mean Kawhi didn't play it all last year.
And I believe that – and the Spurs were still a good competitive team.
I mean, they lost Parker, but Parker was really he's
Parker was at the end. Parker was at the end. Ginobili, who was my favorite player, is at the end. It's a very different Spurs team now. Very, very different. It's the LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan Spurs now. DeJounte Murray. That's who this team is now. But there is talent here, and if anybody can get the most out of DeRozan, it's got to be Pop.
Yeah.
So, and I think DeRozan will very quickly warm up to being in San Antonio. Because I think playing with Pop and seeing the level of play that he's able to get out of his other guys, I think will be I think that'll be an eye opener for DeRozan. I really do. And look, I don't know how long he'll stay. San Antonio on paper doesn't seem like the most desirable place, but it is it's a nice under the radar city to play in though. And
I've been to San Antonio. I have fun.
Well, I have too, and I love it. I love the River Walk. It's great. It's a in the Mexican air is phenomenal. Oh my God. It's not that Tex-Mex garbage. It's real. I mean, that's like authentic Mexican cuisine down there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's legit.
Yes, indeed.
That ain't Chili's. I was at Chili's last night, by the way.
Did you get the baby back ribs?
No, they got this 3 for $10 deal going on, so I took advantage of that. It was good.
Oh man, the Bri Man and Chili's. Hey, we would love to have a sponsorship by Chili's.
Yeah, or Dunkin' Donuts.
Or All right, so let's move on. We're going to go on to sorts on our way out here.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to sort it out.
We brought the sorted out back. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. A lot of trailers dropped, a ton of trailers. We're gonna kind of touch on kind of the more key ones.
All trailers
for me. Godzilla, that one dropped. I don't know about you, but when I watched the Godzilla trailer, it felt like a genocide film. Like, first of all, like, it seems like this one woman is trying to say, like, oh, this is going to be the only help, but she's actually trying to kill off the whole world or something like that. I don't know, to try and, but I can't really tell because this trailer, it didn't give me much to the point of where, like, I was kind of confused. Like, I didn't know what it's trying to accomplish.
It seemed all over the place. By the way, did Millie Bobby Brown actually even say anything in the trailer? Or does she just have this, like, look on her face all the time of, no, don't get me wrong. I love her. She's a wonderful young actress, and she could not possibly be better in Stranger Things. But it was just weird. Like, I don't know. It was a very strange trailer for me.
Yeah.
It didn't. Let's put it this way. It didn't really stand out to me. To me, there were two or three standouts. One, Glass,
So Glass looked good, but I haven't seen Split. So I can't like.
Well, there's not going to be much for you there.
But I loved Unbreakable.
Yeah, but that's like only having 2/3 of the story.
Right,
so
exactly. So I need to see that before I can fully embrace this.
Split is phenomenal.
Yeah, I know. I love him.
What's unfortunate in not seeing Split is that you now know what the spoiler is that this universe is tied together.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know that in Split until the very end, and that was like the amazing moment.
I'm surprised that I escaped that just in general.
Yeah, how did you?
Like I did not know that.
We talked about that movie on this show, I remember, and I remember telling you needed to get there.
Yeah, and I want to watch it. I do.
It's such a good film.
There's so many good movies that come out, and that's not kind of like my genre so much, but
yeah.
I did want to see it because I love him as an actor.
And I'm such a big M. Night Shyamalan guy, and I love seeing, first of all, the bounce back that he had with Split, and I suspect this movie will be very good too. And I think M. Night Shyamalan's going to have a couple of good movies in a row. This gets us back on track.
Out of all the M. Night Shyamalan movies that he's done, I thought Unbreakable was probably the best.
That's still my favorite.
Yeah. So another one that came out, Shazam and Aquaman.
Loved both.
You loved both of them?
Loved both of them.
So, like, I thought that the Aquaman trailer, DC, like, this whole DC universe makes me incredibly nervous because they are so overly doing their CG. Like, I loved when they came down and you saw Atlantis. Like, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
but then the sharks and the fish and everything was just too overly done CG. It, like, looks cartoonish, and I hate that. Like, so I'm hoping that it gets polished a little bit. But
that movie is still 5 months off. So
yeah, but it's still like I don't expect it to. Like, I thought that was going to be the case with the Justice League movie, but they only polished it a little bit. Like, it still looked completely stupid.
Yeah.
Like the CG and they just keep doing that with their films. Like, they kind of did a pretty good job with it with Wonder Woman, and I thought Batman vs Superman, that was pretty good, but the CG and then with Shazam, I liked the trailer the second time. The second time I watched it, I liked it a lot more, but I'm still not a huge fan of that suit.
Oh, but the suit is part of, like, the joke, don't you think? It's clearly a muscle suit, but
it's not, though. He said it's not, and like they showed him in the gym, and he's jacked.
Is he really?
Yeah.
It's such a weird, like, look for him, but I don't know. It looked a little puffy to me, but even if it is, I think that's, like, part of the joke, though, that it almost looks fake. But
I love Zach Levi. I love him. Ever since Chuck, I thought he's just a cool,
guy.
Cool dude, funny. Yeah, and he fits the personality really well. But I kind of wanted somebody that was kind of like, not like a Bautista guy, but something like that where he's very kind of like just, he looks intimidating, but he acted like a kid.
Right.
That's kind of what I wanted out of Shazam.
Like The Rock? The Rock.
Yeah, but he's going to be Black Adam. But not like The Rock. Like, The Rock is intimidating, but he's a fun dude, and when he smiles, you're just kind of like...
Yeah, Batista's... You're right. He fits that mold perfectly, especially when you consider Drax.
Yeah, something along those lines. Like, I wanted something like kind of a kid mentality, but you look at him and you're just like, oh my God, I'm scared to death. But, like, so right. I think this is going to be one of those movies that I'm going to really enjoy with, like, watching with my son. Like Cam and I going to see this movie, I think is going to be a blast. So, I don't know about you. I don't know how you felt. I mean, you said you loved both of them. I mean, is there anything in particular that you liked, or you just think they're both going to be fun movies?
I just think, yeah, they both appealed to me. The trailers have sold me. I like the direction that they went with Shazam, which is more in the comedic range, which is really right where that movie belongs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think Aquaman's going to have a nice mix, and I think what I liked, what I saw from both of these movies from the DC universe is that I think they're starting to lighten up a little bit.
Well, I think it's
DC went down
that
this
whole thing with Aquaman in the
path
when he said that was the worst pep talk ever. Like that's the kind of humor that they do that I think is so forced. It sounds dumb.
It's hard. It's so out of context, trailers, so you really need to see it in the full moment as that kind of plays out. But
that's just in the same line as like, is she with you? I thought she was with you. Like and it played out the same way in the movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it will. You never know. But honestly, I thought both movies looked pretty good to me, and I'm pretty excited for both. But I still think, though, as far as like if I had to pick one trailer overall that I liked the most, probably Glass.
Yeah. The one of the trailer that I liked, and I don't think you did, was The Predator. Like it's a recycled one.
That movie looks too all over the place for me. I'm actually having a hard time following it, and I loved the first movie.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Actually, I think it looks pretty legit, and I'm kind of super pumped for it. I want to see how this goes. I'm really excited for it. But then they had the Titans, which is not a movie; it's a streaming one. A
lot more violent than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and I don't think it looks very good. It looks worse than a lot of YouTube stuff.
It doesn't look good, and what's disappointing about that is that DC does such a good job on the television side. Like, for all their failures on the cinematic side, on the TV side, they're very, very sound. This does not look good.
The CG looks terrible.
I was looking at a lot of comments, and it took an absolute beating. There were so many internet nerds, questioning, some of the authenticity and, a lot of character issues and stuff like that. It just, it's
pretty bad. And then the Orville season 2.
Now, Orville, on the other hand, which is arguably one of my favorite shows. It's not arguably, it is one of my favorite shows. Yeah. It looks really good. I love that show so much.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it. But so that's pretty much it. And let us know if you think there's anything good that you saw that come out of San Diego Comic-Con. If there's anything out there that we missed that you thought was really good, maybe we'll talk about it on Wednesday. All right, so that's pretty much the end of our show. You can find us at Facebook.com, where we go live every Monday, Wednesday. Facebook.com/Shane and the Bri Man. You can hit us up on Twitter at Shane and Bri Man. You can hit me up on Twitter at Einhorn is Finkel.
And you can find me on Twitter at _Bri_Man.
And of course, you can find us anywhere podcasts are played: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all those places. Tune in, and our website, which is www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. Hope you had a good time listening to the show. And like I said, post comments in below if you have any questions, or if you have any, you want to scold us upon our reviews of these movies and stuff like that, all these trailers that came out. Go ahead, let's do it. Bring it in the comments.
We don't care.
I don't even read it. Forget it.
Stay classy, Planet Globe.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys later, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
You are listening to the Sports and Sorts podcast.